Welcome back to the Wellness Architect. Today we're diving into some juicy science about dopamine, cold showers, and breaking bad habits. Now, I know science can sound a little dry sometimes, but stick with me. This is going to be practical, fun, and easy to understand. I'm going to pull some of the gold from Dr. Andrew Huberman's insights and blend it in with my own experience. And let's be honest, we're all busy professionals trying to juggle about 50 things at once, so the last thing you need is complicated advice. Let's break it down and make this work for you. So let's dive in. All right, let's kick things off with dopamine. You've probably all heard it called the feel-good chemical, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's a lot more than just that. Dopamine isn't just about feeling good. It's the stuff that gets us out of bed, pushes us to tackle big projects, and keeps us engaging with the world around us. Think of it like the fuel in your motivational tank. Without it, we're not really going anywhere. Now, here's where things get interesting. Dopamine works in loops or cycles. Let's say you finish a big project at work, complete a workout, or even get a notification on your phone. We all know that one. Your brain gives off a little dopamine hit. Boom, you feel accomplished. But here's the catch. Your brain adjusts fast, and soon that hit isn't enough, and then you start chasing the next one. And let me tell you, chasing dopamine can feel like running after a toddler who's learned to sprint. For those of us juggling work, family life, and trying to have some semblance of life, these cycles can be exhausting. You've been working all day, handling family responsibilities, and by the time you collapse on the couch, you're done. So, what do? You grab your phone, you scroll through Instagram, you might even binge on Netflix. And then in that moment, it feels good. That dopamine kicks in. But here's the deal. It's like a sugar rush. You feel drained afterwards because that quick fix fades fast. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole on the bottom. It's never going to be enough. So, how do you get off the roller coaster? Here's the good news. Dr. Huberman suggests focusing on sustainable dopamine rewards. And I couldn't agree more. Think of it like this. Instead of chasing the sugar rush, aim for a slow burn energy. That way, to do this is breaking down your goal into smaller steps, manageable steps. That way, every time you complete a task, no matter how small, you get a steady boost of dopamine. It's like getting those small wins that keep you going without burning out. Let me give you an example. We can all relate to fitness. How many times have you set a goal like I'm going to lose 20 pounds this month, or I'll work out every day for the next 3 months, or whatever it might be? And then what happens? Spoiler alert, it doesn't happen. Why? Because it's overwhelming. Life gets in the way. You've got to work on those deadlines. You've got kids that need your homework, they need your help. And oh yeah, you forgot to eat lunch. Here's a better approach. Start small. Instead of setting a huge goal, break it down into smaller chunks. Like, I'll do a 10-minute walk after dinner. And you've probably heard me talk about this before on the podcast. But it's one of my favorite tips because it's easy and achievable. Every time you hit that 10-minute walk, your brain says, hey, class, well done, I'm making progress. And you get a little bit of dopamine boost. The small win adds up, and before you know it, you've built a sustainable routine. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that sounds too simple, Mark. But trust me, it does work. I've set my own life this way and my clients. And the key is consistency. You don't need to hit the gym for an hour every day. You just need to make small, manageable progress. Every little win boosts your dopamine without depleting you. And it fits into a busy life without the overwhelm. So, the next time you're feeling tempted to have a massive goal, take a step back a little bit and just break it down into smaller chunks. Small, steady wins. Now, let's talk about cold showers. Yeah, I know. I can hear you groaning already through the speakers. But trust me, stick with me for a second. I hate cold showers myself. In fact, every time I step into one, my body goes, what on earth, and get out. But here's the thing. Cold exposure is like a secret weapon for boosting dopamine. And it's not just for a few minutes. These can last for hours. And honestly, for busy people like us, you're juggling a million things all at once. We need all the help we can get to stay focused and stay energized. So here's the science. When you expose your body to cold, whether it's a cold shower or stepping outside on a frosty morning, your body kicks into gear to maintain that balance. It's like, we need to warm up quick. In response, your body releases dopamine, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. But unlike the quick hit that you get from checking your phone, this dopamine boost is slower, it's more gradual, and it lasts for hours. It's like an espresso shot of dopamine, only a lot healthier. I get it though. I mean, who wants to subject themselves to freezing water voluntarily, right? When I first heard about cold showers, I thought, why would anyone want to do that? I mean, what's the purpose? But once I've tried it and survived, I realized it's not just about physical benefits. Cold showers are more a mental game as well. It's a mental game changer. They train you to handle discomfort. It's like building mental muscle. The next time you're in a stressful situation or stressful meeting or dealing with chaos at home, your brain is like, I've got this. Remember that cold shower? This is nothing. But don't worry, I'm not here to tell you go and jump in a freezing cold shower for 5 minutes. I mean, let's take it slow. Start with your usual warm shower. And at the end of it, crank it gradually to cool for 30 seconds. I know it's brutal, right? But stick with it. And over time, you can gradually increase that to 1 minute or 2 minutes. It's not about torturing yourself, so don't do that. It's about building tolerance and resilience. And here's a little hack. Focus on your breathing. When the cold hits, your instinct is just panic. But if you control your breathing, you'll find it much easier to stay calm. It's like training your mind to handle stress, and trust me, this carries over into the rest of your life. You'll be less reactive when stress hits because you've trained your brain to handle discomfort. Dr. Huberman makes a point here too. Cold exposure isn't something that you have to do every day. It's a tool. You can use it when you're feeling low on energy or when you need that mental reset. So give it a try just a few times a week, once or twice. It's like hitting the reset button for your brain, and it's surprisingly effective. Give it a go. Plus, you probably end up with quite a funny story to tell your kids or your wife about how things shrink when you get hit with a cold shower. Okay, let's move forward onto something a bit warmer. And let's talk about sunlight. Now, if you've ever struggled with low energy or you've had trouble sleeping, then this tip is the game changer. Dr. Huberman explains that getting sunlight exposure in the first hour of waking up is one of the most simplest yet effective ways to regulate your circadian rhythm. Fancy science talk for your body's internal clock, basically. When your circadian rhythm is in sync, you're like a well-oiled machine. When it's off, well, you're basically running on fumes. Here's the deal. Sunlight is like a natural alarm clock for your brain. When you get outside and let the sunlight hit your eyes, your brain gets a signal that it's time to wake up and be alert. This sets you up for a productive day, but it also helps you sleep better at night because it regulates melatonin production. No sunlight in the morning equals groggy day and restless night. It's like trying to get a cup of coffee without turning the machine on. Nothing happens. Now, if you're a parent, I know mornings can be absolutely chaotic. I get that. You're getting the kids ready for school, you're trying to do the packed lunches and remember where you left your keys and you're late for work. But trust me, you can fit this in. This is what my family does. In our house, we try and spend 10 minutes outside after breakfast if the weather allows. If not, we just hang around in our kitchen where we've got these sunlight bulbs, the special light bulbs that mimic sunlight. I know it sounds fancy, but they're just a lifesaver on those dark mornings when the sunlight just refuses to show up. And here's the thing, those few minutes of sunlight, or from the lamp therapy or the light therapy, really do set the tone for the day. While you're standing in the kitchen or outside, we just talk about what's coming up for the day, whether it's the school for the kids or what's on my to-do list. It's small, simple rituals, but it makes a huge difference. Everyone's more alert, they're more focused and in a better mood. Plus, it gives us a few minutes to connect on a morning where it gets chaotic or could be chaotic. If mornings are super rushed and you think, I don't have time for this, well, here's something else you can try. Open the blinds or your curtains as soon as you wake up, even if you're rushing around. Get some natural light, if you can, into your home. It helps your brain kickstart. If you live in a place where the mornings are dark, consider investing in one of those light alarm clocks, or they gradually brighten up the room in the morning to help you wake up. It's like having your own personal sunrise. It can really help you feel more awake without the need of 3 cups of coffee before you leave. Remember, morning sunlight isn't just about feeling awake during the day. It's about setting yourself up for a better night's sleep also. If you want to improve your energy, mood and sleep, this is one of the easiest ways to do it. It's free, it's simple, and it only takes a few minutes. Whether you're standing by the window, sipping coffee outside, or you're just hanging out with your kids in some sunny spot or in the kitchen that you're underneath one of these lights, make it part of your morning routine. Now, let's dive into something that I know everybody struggles with: breaking a bad habit. We've all been there, and we're probably there now. Maybe it's snacking mindlessly, it's doom scrolling on social media, or it's skipping out workouts just because life's busy. But here's the good news. Your brain can change. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, your brain is consistently rewiring itself, which means you can create a new, healthier habit at any time. Now, this sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Here's the key. You don't just stop a bad habit. You have to replace it with something better. Otherwise, you just leave a complete void in that gap, and then your brain will go right back to the old habit because it's what it knows best. So if you want to stop snacking while watching TV, for example, replace that habit with something else. Drinking water, doing some light stretching, or even chewing gum. The point is, you need to give your brain something else to latch onto. I'll give you a real life example. I had a client who was really struggling with making time for exercise. They'd get home from work, flop on the couch, and the idea of working out was just no. So instead of saying, you need to work out for 30 minutes, we started small. I told them to do a 10-minute of movement in front of the TV while watching their favorite show. And guess what? It worked. Over time, 10 minutes turned into 15 minutes and then 20 minutes. It's about creating a new habit that feels doable, not overwhelming you. Here's another tip. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small they might be. I'm not saying you need to throw yourself a party every time you complete a workout, but acknowledging your process reinforces the neural pathway you're building in your brain. Maybe it's something like checking off a habit tracker or giving yourself a mental pat on the back. The point is, your brain likes rewards. And by recognizing your achievements, you're making it easier to stick to the new habit. Consistency is the key here. The more you repeat the behavior, the stronger the neural pathway becomes. It's like walking a path through the woods. The more you walk it, the clearer the path gets. So don't try and change everything all at once. Start with one small habit, make small consistent changes, and then build it from there. And trust me, you'll be amazed with how much easier it becomes over time. Okay, finally, let's talk about something that really hits home with high achievers like me and you. More isn't always better. Now, I know this can be hard to swallow because we've been conditioned to think that doing more, pounding that door equals better results. But here's the thing. If you're consistently pushing yourself without allowing for recovery, you're actually hurting your performance in the long run. Let me explain how this works. Your brain's like a battery. It can only produce so much dopamine before it starts to run low. If you're consistently striving for more and more and more, whether that be more work, more exercise, or more success, your dopamine levels get depleted. And when that happens, things that used to motivate you don't. They don't feel rewarding anymore. That's when burnout sets in. I've seen this happen so many times with clients, and I've experienced it myself. As entrepreneurs, professionals, parents, we often feel like we have to be everything to everybody. We take on more and more thinking it'll lead to greater success, but eventually we hit a wall. Suddenly things that used to excite us feel just like a burden. That's because our brain's dopamine reserves are completely depleted. They're tapped out. And without a chance to recharge, we're running on empty. So what's the solution? Well, it's all about balance. Dr. Huberman talks about the importance of recovery. And I couldn't agree more with this. Whether it's your work, your fitness routine, or your personal life, your recovery is just as important as action. Think about it. Elite athletes don't train every single day without rest. They know that recovery is part of the process. It's not a luxury. It's essential. In my own life, I've learned that recovery is the secret to long-term success. Whether it's taking a day off from work, giving myself permission to sleep in, or spending time with my family without the pressures of being productive, these moments of rest recharge my dopamine levels and keep me more motivated for the long haul. If you're someone who struggles with the idea of slowing down, here's a practical tip. Schedule recovery into your routine. Don't wait until you're burnt out to take a break. Whether it's taking a walk without your phone, doing a quick mindfulness exercise, or just lounging with a book, make recovery a regular part of your day. And remember, sleep is one of the most powerful recovery tools that we have. Without enough sleep, your brain can't restore its normal dopamine levels. And over time, that will impact your performance in every single area of your life. So the takeaway here is really simple. More is not always better. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your brain and for your body is to just take a step back, recover and recharge. By balancing action with recovery, you avoid burnout and sustain high levels of motivation and productivity over time. I hope you found today's episode valuable and that you're walking away with some practical tips to apply to your own daily life. So let's quickly recap. Break big tasks into smaller, manageable steps to boost dopamine levels and stay motivated in more sustainable ways. Try incorporating cool showers into your routine that build resilience, sharpen your mental focus, and give you a lasting dopamine boost. Prioritize morning sunlight. It's an easy, free way to regulate your energy, improve your sleep, and lift your mood. When breaking bad habits, remember to replace them with positive ones and use the power of neuroplasticity to rewire your brain. Consistency is key. Finally, remember, the more isn't always better. Make time for recovery and sleep. They are essential for long-term success. Once again, thank you for coming and joining me today. If you're looking for more daily tips and insights, make sure you follow me, subscribe to the podcast, and don't miss an episode. I'm always happy to help. and to hear from you. So if you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to dive into in future episodes, please feel free, reach out and send me them. And if you're a professional with an insight on wellness, leadership or performance, and you'd like to be a guest on my next podcast, then get in touch. Always happy to collaborate with other leaders who are passionate about optimizing their health and performance. Thank you for tuning into The Wellness Architect. I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time out and investing in your health. Remember, wellness is not a journey, it's a destination. Make small changes today and you will have a massive impact in your future. Until next time, stay well, stay balanced and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you in the next episode.